Well, welcome to EnvirOvations, a ClimateWise showcase. We're here to celebrate the business partners of ClimateWise and their accomplishments. Before I start today's agenda with you, I have a few brief announcements. First of all, I am not Brian Denonis. He is taller. Brian couldn't be here today, and he sends his apologies because this is one of his favorite events. So he wanted to be sure I let all of you know that. So the announcements I want to start off with is I'd like to recognize Mayor Karen Wyckenott and the council members that are here today. Councilmember Bob Overbeck, Wade Troxel, Jerry Horak, Ross Cuniff, and Lisa Popow. It's exciting to have them all here. Thank you very much. This showcase is a zero waste event and 100% climate neutral. This is awesome. Thank you. Now for a quick overview of today's agenda. We're happy again to have Mayor Karen Wyckenott with us, who will kick off the program by saying a few words. We will show a video of 2012 ClimateWise program and partner highlights. The keynote presentation will be given by Mr. Jeff Ackerman, Director of the Colorado Energy Office. City Manager Darren Atterbury is here to recognize our ClimateWise partners. In consideration of your time, we have changed the format to recognize all the partners in groups. So when I end this, I will be bringing all the partners up based on their group. We will recognize all platinum, gold, silver, and bronze level partners, new 2012 partners, social superstars, and advisory committees by asking them to stand during the presentation. Toward the end of the presentation, we will call your group to the stage for awards and photos with the mayor, city manager, and Senator Udall's Northeast Regional Director, Pam Shattuck. So please join me in welcoming Mayor Karen Wyckenott for a few words. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me to be a part of today's EnvirOvation. You know, it's just really great to be out here celebrating with our business partners and their accomplishments. Who doesn't know that Fort Collins is just a great place to live, to work, to play, to ride a bike, to retire, and to have a beer? We're known for that. But we are also known for our leadership in environmental issues. This community has demonstrated time and again their commitment to protect and preserve our natural environment. And you, the people in this room, the businesses, have proven that we can do that while actively investing in a healthy economy. Fort Collins' reputation as a leader in sustainability is not just a reflection of city policies and actions. It is a reflection of our entire community and our collective accomplishments. As a business owner myself, I understand the challenges that you face in providing quality products and services while maintaining an efficient operation. The fact that you have voluntarily embraced the additional responsibility of being a ClimateWise partner business is truly a testament to your commitment to this community and to our environment. You are businesses that exemplify what can be done. You've proven in the course of our daily work, we can all strive to be responsible stewards of our natural resources, bolster our local economy, and support our social well-being. We are all proud of your efforts and definitely your success. It's proof positive that Fort Collins will lead the way toward more sustainable solutions to environmental challenges. Our ClimateWise program has grown into a nationally recognized model, a model that our others are looking to replicate. Today, more than 300 local businesses have voluntarily taken the challenge to reduce greenhouse gases by 163,000 tons during 2012. That's terrific. And along with that, in real dollars and cents, you have saved $14 million in 2012 and cumulative 79 million since 2000. Not to mention reducing 555,000 tons of waste and get this, 10 billion gallons of water. ClimateWise partners, you have far exceeded the program's greenhouse gas reduction goal early. This is the 4th time in 5 years you've exceeded the goal. Thank you to all our ClimateWise partners for your hard work, for your community commitment. This is truly a great accomplishment. With that, I can applaud that. What's next is I'd like to show you a short video of the ClimateWise program and partner highlights from 2012.
The ClimateWise program has been a really important part of Fort Collins' efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions over the past decade plus. The program started back in the year 2000 with 13 partners, and Kathy, how many partners has it grown to now?
During 2012, we have more than 300 business partners who saved more than $14 million last year.
ClimateWise was part of the first Fort Collins Climate Action Plan that City Council adopted back in 1999.
And since then, ClimateWise partners eliminated more than 1 million tons of greenhouse gas emissions from our atmosphere.
On behalf of the City of Fort Collins, we'd like to thank you as ClimateWise partners for your great contributions over the last year. In 2012 alone, you eliminated over 163,000 tons of carbon emissions. Let's take a quick look now at some of those partner projects that contributed to those savings.
Hi, I'm Ryan Daniel. I'm the Director of Facilities and Entrepreneurial Culture here at Rocky Mountain Innisphere. It's our mission here to grow startup companies to become financially sustainable and in the process, hopefully be environmentally sustainable at the same time. Dee and I were part of the ClimateWise Ambassador Committee in 2012.
The Ambassador's quest is to look at how can we do more outreach to get more people interested in joining the ClimateWise program. Our company, Ridekick International, makes a motorized trailer that pushes your bike. For Earth Day, we wanted to urge more of the Innisphere tenants to bicycle to work, and Ryan, you really embraced that beautifully and offered breakfast saying, we'll give food to anybody who rides, and that seemed to be a pretty good motivator.
It's like, why not be able to get all these different companies a part of this challenge? So we did a Bike to Work Month challenge, and we got stars. We went back to elementary, right? If you rode your bike that day, you got to put a star by your name. So the competition, people loved it, and we saved over 2,700 miles during that month.
Spray is a local Fort Collins business. We participated in Rocky Mountain Innisphere's June Bike to Work Challenge. We have an Intergrid lab that's just a couple blocks away from our business, and it's really nice for people to be able to hop onto a bike to ride over there instead of having to drive a car.
Directly from that, we were able to get, I think, 3 or 4 new companies to sign on to the ClimateWise program, an opportunity for them to see the importance in it and what it can be and how fun it can be when you incorporate it into your culture.
I'm Steve Greiner with the USDA National Wildlife Research Center. Our scientists do a variety of research projects, all dealing with various kinds of wildlife. Everything from pythons in the Everglades to feral swine to blackbirds. And the goal of their research is to produce a professional publication to share their research with other scientists all over the world. In the past, we've always produced paper copies and have mailed those out to other scientists.
We had a mailing list of 1,800, so there was costs involved in staff time, mailing costs, photocopying if we ran out. And this is about 40,000 pieces of copier paper, which is equivalent to 1 year of what we were storing in our reprint room. So we decided to get rid of the paper. We were able to go to a digital system and provide digital copies, PDF copies of all the publications on our website.
By reducing our copying and going electronic, we're able to save between $1,500 to $2,000 per year.
We were able to eliminate an entire room full of paper that we were maintaining and just maintain maybe one paper copy that we keep in the archives as a file copy, just in case the digital world disappears. It has been really effective in making our information more readily available to a wider audience.
My husband and I bought our condo in 2008 at the Cottonwoods in downtown Fort Collins, and at the time I was on a crusade to help make our community more sustainable, and so I convinced our HOA board president to sign up for the ClimateWise program. I told him it was free, that they would come out and do an assessment, look at our utility usage, and recommend ways that we could reduce our costs.
We were originally an apartment building, built in 1967. The building is in actually very good condition, but like any building its age, it's needing renovations and upgrades. A lot of the decorating, we used low VOC paints in the halls and lobbies here.
You know, in my unit we upgraded to high efficiency windows and got cork floors and energy efficient appliances. We also handed out low flow shower heads that we got from Waterpick. There's things we can do and it doesn't compromise how we live. It actually makes it better. Well, one of the things I think that's been great are the upgrading our washers and dryers to the high efficiency ones. Our old washers used 30 gallons per cycle and our new washers use 11 or 12 gallons a cycle. So it's a huge difference. We were trying to decide between a lot of different options for the lighting, and just the repurposing made the most sense.
They are original to the building, 1967. And they were in bad condition, beat up and corroded, and we took them apart and cleaned them up. Originally the globe was down below, turned it the way it is now and repainted them.
We put a solar cover on top of the pool, and that really helped to cut down on energy loss from the pool because it's heated.
Well, here's our fan that we replaced, the more efficient one. It's got a timer and a humidistat, so it only runs when it needs to, keeps it nice and dry in here.
And it's a lot quieter as well, so it's nice for those of us that live near the pool. ClimateWise gave us an opportunity to see the potential of our building here and see that we could make the Cottonwoods a better place to live.
So my name's Susan Kelly. I'm the volunteer coordinator with the Food Bank for Larimer County. We're currently a silver partner, and we're really proud of the achievements that we've made to be more energy efficient. The food bank has a lot of coolers and freezers, so we upgraded the fans in our coolers to be more efficient and only run when they need to be running. In 2012, we started an employee Bike to Work challenge. We had about a third of our employees participate, which we were really excited about. We tracked miles for the whole year.
We rode 3,300 miles. We did in excess of 500 commutes. Last year you'd walk through the warehouse and there'd be bikes scattered all over the place.
Now we're talking about improving our bike racks and making changes around the facilities that are bike friendly. We have thousands of volunteers overall, so we really feel like getting our volunteers involved is kind of the next step.
I volunteer here about 2 to 3 times a week for 3-hour shifts. I have to bike quite a ways across town, but it kind of gets me in that right mindset of being sort of helping the environment and then coming here and being able to help other people, and I really enjoy that.
A big project that we're going to be working on in 2013 is adding skylighting to our warehouse. It'll allow us to cut back on how much lighting we have to have during the day when we're in here working. More money saved on our utilities, and being efficient means more food that we can provide to Larimer County residents in need.
Hi, my name is Pete, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about ClimateWise Social Superstars. The program is designed to highlight the creative and innovative approaches that ClimateWise businesses have when it comes to having a positive social impact on people in the community around them. A great example of a ClimateWise Social Superstar in 2012 is New Belgium Brewing Company.
When the High Park fire hit, 259 homes were lost, quickly followed by the fire in Estes Park, where another 30 homes were lost. They're all in Larimer County.
Some of our co-workers who were evacuated, and so we needed to make sure that their immediate needs were met.
The first day that the fire started on June 9th, it came through that night and burned our house down. We got the kids, pets, and a shoebox full of mementos out, and immediately Carrie got in touch with us, had arranged a place to stay for us, me and my family. And it made a huge difference. You know, I realized what an amazing network of friends and family we have here.
So when these disasters struck, I thought it would be great if there's some way to allow our community to recover. Our solution was form a nonprofit called the NoCo Rebuilding Network. We were able to raise about $250,000 from 57 fundraisers that we held in the summer. We were able to give all that money that we raised to people recovering from the fire. Being here for 20 years, I remember when we started putting together our core values and beliefs. And the first one is remembering that we're incredibly lucky to create something that enhances people's lives. And I don't think there's a better example of enhancing someone's life than helping them rebuild after they suffered this kind of catastrophe. And that's the wonderful thing that New Belgium was able to help foster.
ClimateWise has been excellent for just creating more awareness about things we could be doing differently, ways we could be doing, just everyday stuff better.
If it wasn't for ClimateWise, we wouldn't have done a Bike to Work challenge. ClimateWise made us get a little bit more creative.
Yeah, prior to 2008, we really did not have much of a recycling program. Employees feel that they're contributing by being able to recycle all this material that was once going into the trash. Thanks a million, ClimateWise.
Take it away.
Hello, Ryan Daniel, part of the Inosphere, Rocky Mountain Inosphere. We gotta restart.
Oh man, listen, this road's really long.
It really is. We're making progress on that goal, aren't we?
We are.
For drying, and they dry much quicker.
Yeah, and our clothes are cleaner, and that motion sensor light's really good.
Saves electricity when people aren't in here.
Apparently it's a little too sensitive.
This afternoon, I have the honor of introducing today's featured speaker, Mr. Jeff Ackerman, Director of Colorado Energy Office. Mr. Ackerman joined the Colorado Energy Office on April 1st, 2013. He most recently worked at the Colorado Public Utilities Commission, where he led research efforts ranging from electric system planning to the effective use of energy efficiency and renewable energy. While at the commission, he also assisted in creating and integrating electric and gas demand-side management into the business practices of Colorado energy utilities. Mr. Ackerman was manager of the state low-income weatherization program at the state's energy office twice previously in his career. He earned his bachelor's degree from Albion College and a master's degree in nonprofit management from Regis University. Please join me in thanking Mr. Jeff Ackerman.
Thank you for inviting myself and the Colorado Energy Office to be part of your celebration today. I think that first off, it's always important to remember to affirm good work that's being done. It's a good practice in personal life. It's something that just from this event we take away and is a good practice in state government as well. Before I go on, it's probably also important to explain that that saying that it's keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That doesn't apply to bike riding, I found. So sometimes I think he's still my friend, let's put it that way. But he ran over me, so such is life. But I'm here today to affirm your efforts in what you're celebrating today, tell you about the Colorado Energy Office and how it's changed and what's going on at the state level, and tell you about what we have in common between CEO and ClimateWise and focus on that. I think for context, since my world is energy, it'd be good to talk a little bit about energy. When you think about energy today, the mind goes a number of places, but I imagine if I could speak on your behalf, you would think about energy in terms of renewable energy and how much we're seeing wind and solar come onto the system now. I think you would talk about advances that we're rapidly seeing in the country having to do with a change in dependence on foreign fuels as we extract and develop more natural gas. I think we're quickly seeing a change in electric utility systems in terms of what the generation mix is, moving from fossil fuels to a different blend, happening fairly quickly, right before our eyes. I think we're seeing a steady repositioning of energy efficiency over the years, and from something that was seen first as a customer service to now that's something that's integral to electric resource planning, and that utilities now see as part of their planning, part of their business model. I think we're also seeing a diversification of the fuel base in terms of transportation and what you see across the country, moving from a petroleum or diesel-based system to something much more diverse. And then something you may not see as much of, but you also see that we have quite an intellectual backbone when it comes to talking about energy in this country, whether it's our laboratories, our lab research, whether it's public-private support for energy, whether it's that development and deployment of energy technologies, or whether it's initiatives that really convey a better understanding of market dynamics and how the market is a critical player in how we move the energy forward. If you were now to step back and review all of those points and think about it from the context of Colorado, what's interesting to reflect upon is we're a state that stands as 6th in the country when it comes to wind-based electric generation. When we talk about solar electric generation, we're 5th in the country. Natural gas production, we're also 5th in the country. When you think about our electric generation profile of all the electric utilities across the state, it's fascinating, I think, to look in a fairly short period of time from 2004, when we were about 3/4 of that system was coal-based. Most of the majority was natural gas, and then the balance of about 5% or less was renewables, primarily hydro. For 2011, we're now looking at a system that's gone from 3/4 coal to 2/3 coal, natural gas holding its own, and renewables coming on as being a fairly significant portion and a growing portion steadily of the electric generation mix in the state. At the same time, we live in a state that is 11th in coal production. And when it comes to energy efficiency, and you look at the American Council for an Energy Efficient Economy that annually ranks the states on a spectrum of energy efficiency measures, we rank 14th there. When it comes to alternate fueled vehicles, we are ahead of the curve in terms of per capita what we're seeing in the market in alternate fueled vehicles. And our colleagues up in Boulder at the Southwest Energy Efficiency Project just released a report in the last month looking at the southwestern states and puts Colorado in the head of the pack in terms of what we're doing in terms of policies and infrastructure development for alternate fueled vehicles. And I can't forget that we have quite the intellectual backbone when it comes to what we have here to represent in Colorado, starting with NREL and the collaboratory of research universities working with them. So when you think about Colorado and energy, you find that we are really at the center of just about every national topic you can think about energy has a pathway through Colorado. And so it is because of that, that Colorado Energy Office and other state agencies are engaged in nearly every part of that energy conversation. Now looking specifically at Fort Collins and what we have here, I think it's important to recognize how many different ways Fort Collins is ahead of the curve on this. The generation mix at PRPA is in a quick transition in how it's bringing renewables into the system. I think, as the video reflected, the leadership coming from the City Council and through the utility here in terms of climate goals has been outstanding and has been a model for other parts of the state, if not the country. Demand-side management as well is, as a person who's worked on that from several different perspectives, whether it was in program design or working at the Utility Commission, there's something going on here in the way Fort Collins does demand-side management that continues to yield low retail rates, a low cost per avoided unit of energy, and still maintain a very robust portfolio of energy efficiency options for its customers. And then it would be incomplete without making comment to what you have in your own backyard with Fort Zed and the partners at Fort Zed and the zero energy development there, and what's been learned in a quiet, steady way that we probably don't hear as much about down I-25 as we hear maybe about Smart Grid City, but it's Fort Zed that really is bringing phenomenal insights into what the new electric grid will look like. And then just a shout out to Colorado State as well for the research that's done there on its own, as well as part of the collaboratory and working with the other research universities and with NREL. Returning to a state perspective, though, I would just also add that what is going on in Colorado in terms of everything I've mentioned there and what the Energy Office and what the administration aspires to is why you will hear us articulate an all-the-above approach to energy that thus speaks to the entire state when it comes to energy. The mission of the Colorado Energy Office of CO is sustainable economic development, really building off the history, both the more recent history when people think of Colorado and they think of wind and solar, but a much deeper history of everything else that's been going on in this state for decades, if not centuries, to advance the state energy economy and its industry so that we are working in the dynamic of creating jobs, increasing energy security, lowering long-term energy costs, while at the same time protecting the environment. Which, putting all that together, is really what brings me around to ClimateWise and why we're here today. My understanding of ClimateWise is really that you are working in the nexus between climate protection or environmental stewardship and economic vitality. It's recognizing the critical nature of this connection between sound business practices and a shared responsibility to protect the environment. It's a philosophy that recognizes and affirms that business is a key ally in sustainable environmental stewardship. I also would add, too, that you are to be commended for the commitment that is shown here for standing in that midpoint between what used to be two previously incongruent objectives, environmental protection and developing businesses. And if I may, I think it's something in my short time with the administration that I would reflect upon to make that connection between what's going on in the state government and what's going on here in ClimateWise. It's a challenge to stand in the nexus of two different, often competing thoughts and know how to hold the middle rather than to move to one end or the other, which in many times moving to one end or the other of any political spectrum can be, in a lot of ways, a lot easier. And standing in the middle is what I think I take great pride in with this administration. I'll give you the example. If you've been following the news the last couple of days, on Wednesday the governor signed Senate Bill 252. Senate Bill 252 increases the renewable portfolio standard upon the rural electric co-ops in the state. Why I bring that up is I'm struck by the efforts of this administration to stand in the middle of a topic such as that, where we express support for what that legislation represented, while at the same time listen to what we're hearing from the co-ops and saying, okay, there are ways to do this better. And throughout the legislative process, our effort was to say, okay, we know what the objective is, and we know there's ways to do this better. And that in doing that, in holding that position, and if you take a look at the signing statement that the governor released when he signed 252, I hope you'll appreciate that what we're saying is we know the objective, we support the objective, but we're not deaf to the concerns that we hear from rural Colorado and from the co-ops that says, is there a more effective way, is there a better way to get to that goal? So I just reflect upon when you stand between two different objectives and hold that actually great things can happen from that. It takes a lot of effort, though, at the same time. And so I'm quickly learning that challenging process of standing in the middle. And so going back to just the Energy Office quickly, just to tell you a little more about who we are and what we're doing, is that this office, in partnership now, starting in 2012, built a new relationship with the legislature. For the first time, it's an office that has legislative support as well as the governor's office support coming out of 2012, which then refined its mission. And it's that mission I referred to earlier. But it really is about clean energy, energy innovation, and private sector growth. And in such, you will see our office out around the state, out in all the communities later this summer in conjunction with our colleagues at the Economic Development Office to listen to that voice of Colorado that's built off of the blueprint that was put out through the planning regions 2 years ago and say, what is it that the energy sector of Colorado is trying to strive to do next? What is on their minds? Where are we going from here? And what is it that state government can help to do to move all aspects of the energy sector forward? And what is our role in that? And what are our limits in that? Our office also works actively in the policy arena with the legislature on several fronts, and we made some great progress this year in terms of new financial tools. We'll have a commercial property assessment for clean energy options, or commercial PACE, as a way to move energy efficiency and renewable energy into commercial property, as well as bolstered and built more partnership into the residential sector, where we have expanded the energy saving mortgage program, both for new homes, for first mortgages, and for refinancing, as a way just to bring new tools in to target on market barriers. And then our other way that the Energy Office really connects to what is going on here in this conversation with ClimateWise is our greening government initiatives, which have been actually going on through 3 different administrations, if history serves me right. And in greening government doing its version of ClimateWise, of saying, how can the state of Colorado, as a corporation, best look at how it uses energy and water and input materials in a sustainable way, in a way that's good for business, good for the environment. So and I think we have a lot that we can learn from sharing notes with back and forth with ClimateWise there. And so, in closing, I would go back to your mission, and I was struck with a particular phrase out of the mission of ClimateWise that said that it's committed to making Fort Collins a world-class community. And I think that is really a great vision, and vision is what leadership is all about. And so you, as Fort Collins residents of this area, and I think all of us as Coloradans, are blessed to reside in one of the most beautiful parts of the United States, if not the world. The scenic beauty, the recreational opportunities that we have here really, I think, help to reflect upon and articulate what it means to protect the environment, because it's what I think draws people here, it's what connects people here, it's why we live and thrive and stay here. And I think it's that world-class attribute that I want to touch upon, because I think It articulates that world class involves finding and living in that balance between caring for the environment and achieving sustainable long-term economic vitality. And while the words that we use as a mission at the Energy Office may be slightly different, I think the Energy Office too, as well, is trying to work in that dynamic of how to hold those two things together in terms of environmental protection and economic vitality. And it's through that balance and that vitality that more often the intangible parts of being world class come into play. Expanding career opportunities, a culture of innovation, and as well an informed and respect for civic engagement as a part of what it makes who we are. So we at the state level share with you that spirit of this vision, striving to make Colorado a world-class place to do business, to live, and to pursue meaningful and challenging employment, and to generally contribute to a better world. So with that, I thank you for your commitment, for your passion, your leadership, and I wish you the best in your continued endeavors, and thanks for having me here today.
Thank you very much, Jeff Ackerman. I'm thrilled to introduce our city manager, Darren Atterbury, who will recognize the hard work of the ClimateWise partners. Please join me in welcoming Darren.
What a treat it is to be up here. You know, I look around and the mayor and I get to speak at a lot of different events together, and I will tell you this is, and I know as we talk, this is one of both of our favorite events to come and speak to every year. And I really want to just say, you know, as Jeff said, he sort of mentioned that we're very deliberate and very conscious about talking about world class in Fort Collins. And I always ask, or always have new employees at the city ask me when we do new employee orientation, well, what do you mean by world class? And you know, it's not, I love Florence, Italy. It's not competing with Florence, Italy. It's not competing. It's the way in which we do our work. It's the way in which we leverage each other in the community. And it's what's beautiful about this community as well is you all as citizens allow us, you drive us to think big in our city. And I don't mean a 500,000 population. What I mean is just big ideas. And you give us the okay to talk about innovation and creativity and those sorts of things. And I will tell you, and if the mayor didn't tell you earlier, I came in a little bit late, we are both privileged to be able to do our roles in this community. And so thank you as citizens for allowing us to have these kind of events, and more importantly, to talk about things like world class and talk about things like ClimateWise and look at how do we partner with business community members and citizens and so forth. So I just want to say that we really, really see that as a privilege and we take it very seriously. I think we have the ability to really showcase how this can be done throughout other Colorado communities, but also throughout the country. There are not many, believe it or not, some of you who are new to these tables and new to Fort Collins, there are not many conversations like this going on in American cities right now. There are certainly some going on, but I can assure you 25% of American cities are not having this conversation yet. We are very, very privileged to be able to be in a community that allows us to do that. And so our reason for being here almost solely is to say thank you to you for your partnership. So we appreciate you very, very, very much. So let me say that, and in a minute, I'm going to rely very heavily on my notes because I've got a lot of things that I need to say and some announcements and so forth and recognizing certain companies. But I do want to say that your contributions and your passion in this area and your passion for Fort Collins and Northern Colorado is not lost. We appreciate that very much. I also want to say that these relationships, ClimateWise, is also about creating a culture where we have things like strong relationships formed between one another, between businesses and your local government and other governmental partners in this community. The solid data that we use to track progress, results, and savings. You know, a long time ago, we moved from what we call at the City of Fort Collins a trust us local government to a data-driven local government. So we had a great story to tell. We'd say sort of, trust us, we're really, really good. But now, over the last, say 6, 7, 8, 9 years, we actually can use data to back that up. And we have very specific outcomes that we're desiring to accomplish. So we report on a regular basis, both the results and also various metrics. And so your work and your partnership with Kathy and her team and others in the city organization have allowed us to move from that trust us local government to a results data-driven local government. And that builds trust with our local citizens. You also, through these partnerships, you've pushed each other, and you've pushed your local government to be innovative and to share and then to act on innovative ideas. And we really think that's pretty cool. Also, and I'm sure many of you know in this room, the impact that you're having on a community. Bruce Hendy, I think, who's going to talk in a few minutes, is our Chief Sustainability Officer. I was with some of my colleagues in the room, I was in a meeting in Atlanta a couple of months ago where the city received a national award for our sustainability office model. A lot of cities have sustainability officers within their organizations, but I think that we might be the only city in America that has a cabinet member level person that reports to the city manager or the mayor, depending on their form of government. And so you've let us do that, and we've promised to help share the story. And what we've done is, how many of you know what sustainability is, the word sustainability? Most people in the room. How many of you heard of this idea about the triple bottom line? Hopefully, probably fewer, but a lot of you. So the triple bottom line is really about, if you look at this in a sort of a three-legged stool, there's the economic or financial side of what we do, there's the environmental side of what we do, and then there's the social side. And so pretty much any action that a local government takes, and I would argue here that any action that a business takes, has three sort of major components. What impact does it have on you as a company financially and economically? What impact does it have on the planet environmentally? And then the community, the social. And we've been really, really good in this community for the last 20 years or so around environment. I'd say in the last 10 years we've been pretty darn good, maybe the last 7 years, around economic health of a community. We've not been really, really good as a local government in the area of social health of a community. So, and I'll talk just in a minute about an advisory committee that's just done incredible work in the area of social health. So as you leave this room, we've talked a lot about social or economic and environmental. But we really, really want to have you leave with this room thinking about that triple bottom line. And whether you're a one-person company or we have some businesses that are, Colorado State University, I think, has about 9,000 employees in this community. So we would love to have you walking out of this room thinking, I live in a community that is striving to get to world class. I live in a community that cares deeply about the triple bottom line and is resourcing that. And in a community that deeply cares about this idea of leverage and partnering. So other than just celebrating, and I'm going to stop talking here in a few minutes, but celebrating with your folks at the table, please leave with those messages. That's a really, really important vision for us at the city. So I want to say a big reach out to, actually, would the ClimateWise staff who are here please stand up, and if you're in the back, would you sort of wave your arms, please? So Kathy, so let's, yeah, exactly. So I've said this before, I am not in a paternalistic way, but so proud of the work that you guys do. We have an incredibly competent group of folks all around. We have, I've never been in an organization that has more dedicated professionals than what we have at the City of Fort Collins and what we have at the ClimateWise team. And certainly they are hardworking. We all know that very much so. So I really appreciate you all very much for the work that you're doing and the leadership that you're providing to this community right now. I really appreciate that. Okay, so a couple of announcements. ClimateWise staff is requesting that the partners declare their 2013 levels by completing a level declaration card located on your table and dropping them in the bowl. So you don't pass the class today unless you fill out. We made it pretty easy. I told Kathy, I said, "Where's this card, Kathy?" As I walked in late. She said, "Well, here it is." So this is all we're asking you to do. So would you please grab that, and would you drop that in the bowl on your table? And as soon as the ClimateWise staff is aware of your declared level, the quicker they can contact you for support. So let me, quick thank you. The advisory committee developed new programs and awards within the ClimateWise program. This is a great accomplishment. Let's give them a big thank you. So thank you guys very much. So during 2010, the top request of the Climate Advisory Committee was for program staff to start a corporate social responsibility subcommittee and develop a pilot program. After 2 years of planning, the committee and staff partnered with the city's new Social Sustainability Department to roll out a pilot program for partners called Social Superstars. That was led by volunteers and to develop, number one, a program mission, a social responsibility self-assessment, reporting criteria, and tools for reporting, benchmarking, and visioning. In its pilot year, the program had 17 business participants who dedicated more than 20,000 hours and $735,570 to making a positive social impact on more than 160,000 people. Those are big numbers. As we saw in the ClimateWise video, New Belgium's High Park fire relief effort was just one example of a positive social impact on our community. So let's give those folks a big thank you as well. So Richard Perry is going to be coming up, right? The ClimateWise Advisory Committee has a new mentor award to recognize a ClimateWise business representative for connecting and assisting a fellow ClimateWise partner. Richard Perry from Ramplify is presenting from the ClimateWise Advisory Committee. This year's mentor award goes to Dee Wingner of Ride Kick International. Dee, are you here? Dee was nominated because of her natural ability to connect with fellow ClimateWise partners. She promoted the program to her customers and business community and served as a mentor to several partners. So congratulations, Dee. The ClimateWise Ambassador Committee recognizes ClimateWise business representatives for helping recruiting new program partners. The winner receives a special traveling bicycle trophy that was generously donated by the Fort Collins Bike Co-op. Thank you for the Fort Collins Bike Co-op for that donation. May I have last year's Ambassador Award recipients? There's Steve Hero from the cupboard, Steve, okay, and Shanna Hank from the USDA. They're here behind me. So this year's nominees are as follows. Diane Ewing from Avago, Alan Ginsborg from Newmark Merrill, Carrie Rentola from Pathways Hospice, and also Robin Pelkey and Ashley Myers from Vaught Fry Larson Architects. And this year's winner of the ClimateWise Ambassador Award is Carrie Rentola of Pathways Hospice. Okay, so she's... Okay, so would you like to introduce yourself?
Angela Quinn.
This is Angela Quinn, everyone. Let's say hi to her. Okay, so Carrie was the chair of the ClimateWise Ambassador Program and was influential in helping complete many programs' goals, including the launch of a new ClimateWise Facebook page as a platform for partners to share success stories. Congratulations, Carrie, and thank you for your dedication to ClimateWise. We really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. So, Mayor, I'd like you to come up for just a minute, if you would, and then also, Mayor Wyckonaut, and then also, we do have an elected official who was sorry that he cannot be here. Senator Mark Udall would have liked to have been here. to recognize your work today. Senator Udall couldn't join us, but his Northeast Regional Director, Pam Shattuck, is here. And Pam, if you would come up as well. And I'd like the mayor and Pam to help congratulate the folks that I'm going to recognize as we go through this, okay? Okay. So, Pam, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it.
And the senator's honor.
Thank you. Okay, so let's see. There are 3 bronze level partners and 125 silver level partners. I'm not going to, everyone's going, oh no. I'm only going to mention 100 of them. No, I'm not going to do that. I'd love to recognize all of you by name. We just don't have time to do that. But the bronze and silver partners, could you please stand so the 3 of us, as well as people in the room, can recognize your efforts? Would you please stand? Thanks. Thank you all very much. Also, this year, in terms of gold partners, we had 30 organizations achieve gold level. I'm not going to read all those names either, but to reach gold level, businesses have served on ClimateWise Advisory Committee. They've mentored new partners. They've completed a greenhouse gas baseline analysis, and they've set a reduction goal for their business operations. So gold partners, would you please stand so we all, the 3 of us and folks in the room, can recognize you as well? Thank you all very, very much. Finally, I'd like to recognize our 26 platinum partners. These businesses are setting the standard for environmental stewardship. They've completed a rigorous set of behaviors and activities to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and they've engaged employees in these reduction efforts. So would you please stand and remain standing until I've read all the names of all the platinum organizations. Again, I'll go fast, there's only 26. And then let's hold the applause to the very end and then tell them all collectively thank you for their efforts. So let me begin, and if you would please stand when I recognize your company name, I'd appreciate it. Anheuser-Busch, Avago Technologies, Brinkman Partners, City of Fort Collins, Colorado State University, Dresser Rand, Gallego Sanitation, Green Ride Colorado, the Hewlett-Packard Company, HP, Huska Automotive Services, Intel Corporation, New Belgium Brewing, Newmark Merrill Mountain States, Platte River Power Authority, Poudre School District, Poudre Valley Hospital, University of Colorado Health, Airbnb Architects, Resource, Rio Grande Mexican Restaurant, Rocky Mountain Inosphere, Trebuchet Group, Trees, Water, and People, USDA Agricultural Research Service, Vought Fry Larson Architects, and Ripley Design Inc. Vineyard Church of the Rockies, and our final platinum company is Woodward. So let's give them a big round of applause. So platinum partners, thank you so much. We really appreciate your leadership. I can tell you you're inspiring the city of Fort Collins as one company, and we just really appreciate what you've done and the dedication and commitment. It's genuine, your commitment, and it shows, and we really appreciate your leadership. To all the ClimateWise partners, we just want to say thanks for coming back this year. We appreciate you. On behalf of Senator Udall's office and on behalf of the mayor and the city of Fort Collins, this is a great, great program. It's become part of our DNA. It's not a program. It's not really a program anymore. It's who we are as a community and who we are as a business community. And again, thank you for letting us think big. Thank you for the permission. And Mayor and Pam, thank you for being up here. So with that, I think I'm going to turn it back over to you, Lisa. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate you being here.
We're pleased to announce, actually, the second annual Net Zero Cities Conference will be held this fall, October 23rd and 24th, and we're really excited about announcing this. It's actually happening in partnership with City of Loveland, City of Fort Collins, BizWest Media, and ClimateWise, and we think it'll be really exciting this year. We'll have it at the Lincoln Center, and it'll be focused on net zero energy, net zero water, smart cities and intelligent systems, and transportation innovations. So we hope to bring in combination as part of the Colorado Clean Energy Cluster, which is a major host. We are partnered with a group called the International Clean Tech Network. And that network really consists of 12 major cities throughout the world that will be here to speak and participate in the conference, including Copenhagen, Hamburg, Singapore, and many other communities around the world, and they will be here to speak at the conference and talk about the latest. And it'll really be the thought, a lot of the leading thought in the industry, and it really represents a significant step forward. And also, I think, recognizing the value that you all bring as ClimateWise partners and the work that we all do together to create a very sustainable future for not only our community, but we are indeed setting the stage for the rest of the nation and to some degree the rest of the planet. So with that, I hope you all will plan on attending, and I thank you all for being here today.